Welcome to Keeping It G with G, the podcast. I'm your host, Gian, but you can call me G. Hence, Keeping It G with G, the podcast. To keep it G means to maintain a level of respect for oneself and those around you. And that is why this show was created, to have an open, honest, vulnerable, and accountable discussion about the ups and downs of everyday life shit as it pertains to self-improvement, love, relationships, and motherhood. So in hopes of me sharing through personal experiences from the lessons I've learned and still learning, I pray that I can shed light and share some gems that will give you that extra push that you may need as we are all growing and learning through life. I'm here to reassure my listeners that it's okay to keep it G while on your journey. Now let's start the show. We have 43 days left in this year. So I just wanted to take a moment to send out some encouragement. If you follow me on Instagram on my personal page, you know I sometimes post daily devotionals from the Starting Your Day Off Right book by Joyce Meyer. So I'll start this episode off with that before I get into this week's episode. November 18th. The title is Stay in God's Presence. And now shall my head be lifted up above my enemies round about me. In his tent I will offer sacrifices and shouting of joy. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. That's Psalms 27:6. The psalmist David said that the thing he wanted most was to be with God and to dwell in his presence all of the days of his life. See Psalm 27:4. David loved God for who he is, not just for what he did for him. The word says that if we abide in the presence of God, he will defeat our enemies and hide us in the day of trouble. See verse 5. God's attention is on us, but we must keep our attention on him to enjoy the fullness of his presence in our lives. We must invite God to be involved in everything we do, and then remember to praise him for his goodness. I hope that devotional touches whoever needed to hear it most. That is actually the first time I've ever shared a devotional on the podcast. I just felt this tug at my spirit to do so. So, again, I hope that devotional touched whoever needed to hear it most. And now on to this week's episode. Today is day 323 out of 365. And it has been a year. I've never felt so tested and stretched in regards to my spirit like this, ever. And I don't think I'm alone in that. But nonetheless, I'm grateful for it because it strengthened me. And most importantly, I've gotten to know G better. And so in this episode, I want to take the time out to send out some encouraging words from G to you. Number 1, count your blessings. Be grateful for what God, Spirit, and the universe has done thus far. Stay present in the now and look forward for what's to come. Number 2, honor yourself always and don't budge in regards to your beliefs and your self-worth. Don't go against your beliefs or self-worth in any way. Intuition and gut feeling is everything. That is your conscious mind. Listen to it by honoring your first mind because it's usually never wrong. Number 3, boundaries. In regards to unapologetically saying no when you feel it's necessary, because it's okay to be unavailable sometimes and say no for the sake of self-care. Number 3, stand firm and stay rooted in your being. Stay true to who you are and not for who, how, or what other people would like for you to be. Because in the end, you'll be an unhappy people pleaser and we can't have that. Number 4, be accountable for everything. It helps you to grow. We're human. We'll make mistakes. We'll have some bad days, but what's most important is being accountable and continuously learning and growing from it. Number 5, do better because you know better. No excuses. We slip up sometimes because we're what? Human. And that's okay. But don't continuously go against the grain and go against yourself, because then you're going against yourself. And we want to grow and be better, not be stagnant. So do better because you know better. Number 6, be vocal. In terms of your feelings and emotions, do not allow anyone to make you feel like your feelings aren't valid, because as long as you have breath in your body, and even after you don't, they're still valid because it's your feelings. Your word is all you have to stand firm on, and be vocal about it because you have that right. I take pride personally in being vocal. Of course, I've had to learn to choose my battles wisely, and I've also had to learn that not everything deserves a reaction or a word. But in some instances, it's necessary because it teaches people how to respect your mind. But yeah, I felt this tug in my spirit to send out some words of encouragement that has helped me to stay afloat this year, along with writing and praying. Like I said, we are in day 323 out of 365 in the year 2020. So if you don't do anything else, it should be to honor yourself unapologetically, because it gives you a different type of strength and love of self when you do so. And life is short, so make it count. I wanted to keep this episode short and sweet and just take the time out to send out some words of encouragement. I hope this episode touches those who need to hear it most. Y'all know that when I get behind this mic, I'm speaking from an authentic and passionate place. I'm here to journeying with y'all. But really, I'm just grateful for those who show endless support for the podcast, that share the podcast on their IG stories and on Twitter, and that send me encouraging texts in regard to the podcast. I want to end the episode sending much gratitude, love, and encouragement. And again, thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you for the next episode of Keeping It G with G, the